everyone. Welcome to another mind-blowing episode on our channel. Today, we're taking you on a journey to a country where everything is either incredibly unique or among the best in the world, New Zealand. Yes, in this video, we'll be diving into 10 shocking facts about New Zealand that will leave you stunned. Get ready, because each fact comes with a fascinating story that will blow your mind. We'll include historical footage, immersive storytelling, and jaw-dropping visuals to bring these stories to life. Fact 1. More sheep than people. Alright, here's a wild but true fact. In New Zealand, sheep outnumber people by a massive margin. We're talking about over 25 million sheep compared to just 5 million people. That's roughly 5 to 6 sheep for every person in the country. But how did this happen? Well, it all goes back to New Zealand's deep agricultural roots, especially after European colonization in the 19th century. Back then, sheep farming exploded as settlers realized the country's lush green pastures and mild climate were perfect for raising livestock. Soon enough, sheep became the backbone of the Kiwi economy, fueling exports of wool and meat around the globe. This wasn't just farming, it was a revolution in how the land was used, and it quite literally changed the face of rural New Zealand. Fact 2. No snakes at all. Imagine a country with absolutely no snakes. That's New Zealand for you. You won't find a single snake in its forests, fields, or mountains. How is that possible? It's all thanks to New Zealand's unique biodiversity and very strict biosecurity laws. In this part, we'll learn how the country protects its natural ecosystem, take a deep dive into ancient Gondwanan geology, talk to customs officers at biosecurity checkpoints, examine the legal framework, bust common myths about snakes in New Zealand, and analyze rare marine snake sightings. We'll also contrast it with Australia's snake-rich environment and explain how the absence of snakes has influenced local wildlife evolution. Fact 3. Earthquake capital. Did you know that New Zealand is often called the earthquake capital of the world? Yep, this stunning island nation isn't just about sheep, mountains, and adventure sports. It sits right on the Ring of Fire, where two massive tectonic plates, the Australian and Pacific plates, collide. That means the ground beneath Kiwi feet is always shifting. In fact, New Zealand experiences thousands of earthquakes every year, most of them small, but some can be seriously powerful. Remember the devastating Christchurch earthquakes in 2010 and 2011? Those were a harsh reminder of just how active the country really is. But here's the wild part. Kiwis have learned not just to live with earthquakes, but to build smarter and prepare better. You'll see quake-resistant buildings, advanced early warning systems, and even earthquake drills in schools. The culture of preparedness runs deep here. And believe it or not, some people even see the constant seismic activity as a reminder of New Zealand's raw, untamed beauty. It's like the earth is always alive here. So, while it's true that living in the earthquake capital can be risky, it's also a story of resilience, science, and adapting to one of nature's most unpredictable forces. Fact 4. Glowworm caves. Alright, let me take you to one of the most magical places in New Zealand, the Glowworm Caves in Waitomo. Imagine stepping into a dark, quiet cave and suddenly looking up to see what looks like a starry night sky, but underground. That's not your eyes playing tricks, it's thousands of tiny glowworms lighting up the cave ceiling. These little guys, called Arachnocampa luminosa, are unique to New Zealand and they glow to attract food. It's like nature's very own light show, and it's seriously breathtaking. No special effects, no artificial lights, just pure natural wonder. We're gonna float gently through these ancient limestone caves on a little boat, in total silence, just soaking in the otherworldly glow. And while the experience feels like something out of a fantasy movie, there's some cool science behind it too. We'll break down how these glowworms produce light, what makes the caves so special, and how they've become one of the top attractions in New Zealand. Trust me, this isn't just a tourist spot, it's a spiritual, serene, and unforgettable encounter with nature. So, this is like to witness a hidden, glowing galaxy right beneath the surface of New Zealand. And here's something even more fascinating. The caves themselves are millions of years old, formed by the slow erosion of limestone by underground rivers. Over time, they've developed towering stalactites and winding tunnels, creating the adventure, or just want that once-in-a-lifetime Instagram moment, the Waitomo glowworm caves are a total must-see when you're in New Zealand. Fact 5. Last major landmass settled. Here's a mind-blowing fact. New Zealand was the last major landmass on Earth to be settled by humans. Yep, while civilizations were rising and falling in Europe, Asia, and the Americas, New Zealand remained completely untouched by human feet. It wasn't until around 1,200 to 1,300 years ago that the first people arrived here, the Polynesians, who became the ancestors of the Maori. Just think about that for a second. Vast oceans, no GPS, and still they navigated thousands of kilometers in canoes across the Pacific to discover these isolated islands. That's not just bravery, that's genius-level seafaring. Before humans arrived, New Zealand was basically a giant, untouched wildlife sanctuary. There were no mammals except for bats, and the land was ruled by birds, including the legendary moa, a flightless bird that could grow up to 12 feet tall, and the Haast's eagle, one of the largest eagles to ever exist. Imagine that. A place where birds were the top predators, and the ecosystem evolved completely differently from the rest of the world. It's no wonder that even today, New Zealand has some of the most unique and rare species on the planet, like the kiwi, which has become a national icon. The late settlement also gave New Zealand a unique historical timeline. While other nations have ancient ruins and centuries of human layers, New Zealand's human story is relatively young, which makes Maori culture even more significant. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter, with rich oral traditions, deep spiritual ties to the land, and incredible legends that still shape New Zealand's identity today. So yeah, this might have been the last place humans reached, but what they built here? Absolutely timeless. Fact 6. Home to the world's smallest dolphin. Meet Hector's dolphin, the world's smallest dolphin, found only in the coastal waters of New Zealand. These dolphins are only about 1.5 meters long and are critically endangered. There's a need to look into their biology, echolocation abilities, playful behavior, threats from commercial fishing, climate change, boat traffic, and plastic pollution. Government protection efforts, marine sanctuaries, NGO activism, and citizen science are also underway. Marine biologists are always on patrol, observe dolphins in the wild, and learn how individuals can make a difference in saving this unique species. Fact 7. No nuclear power. Here's something that really sets New Zealand apart on the world stage. It's a nuclear-free zone. That's right, New Zealand has absolutely no nuclear power plants, no nuclear weapons, and even bans nuclear-powered ships from entering its waters. This bold stance began back in the 1980s when the government passed legislation making it official. It was a huge move at the time, especially during the Cold War, and it really put New Zealand on the map as a peace-loving, environmentally conscious nation. And get this, they didn't just stop at policy. New Zealanders are super proud of this nuclear-free identity. You'll even find signs at airports and ports reminding people about it. It's not just a political decision, it's part of the national culture. Kiwis take environmental protection seriously, and this stance has earned them global respect. In fact, it caused a bit of drama with some of their allies back in the day, including the US, but New Zealand stuck to its guns. Or in this case, didn't stick to any guns, nuclear ones, at least. Now you might be wondering, if there's no nuclear power, how does New Zealand keep the lights on? Well, here's the cool part, they've leaned heavily into renewable energy. Around 80% of their electricity comes from renewables like hydro, wind, and geothermal. So not only is New Zealand nuclear free, it's also one of the cleanest energy producers in the world. It's just another way this little country continues to punch above its weight on global issues. Peaceful, green, and forward-thinking, that's the Kiwi way. Fact 8. Lord of the Rings tourism. Alright movie buffs, this one's for you. Did you know that New Zealand is basically Middle-earth in real life? Yep, the entire Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies were filmed right here, and the impact has been massive. Since the first movie hit theaters in 2001, New Zealand has become a bucket list destination for fans all over the world. And honestly, honestly, once you see the landscapes, from snow-capped mountains and rolling green hills to volcanic plains and deep forests, you'll understand why director Peter Jackson didn't even look anywhere else. New Zealand didn't just host the films, it became them. One of the biggest highlights? Hobbiton, of course. This real-life movie set in Matamata was so popular that they turned it into a permanent attraction. You can walk through the Shire, peek into Hobbit holes, chill by the party tree, and even grab a drink at the Green Dragon Inn. It's not just a tour, it's a full-on Middle-earth experience. And beyond that, there are dozens of filming locations scattered across both the North and South Islands. Want to see the Misty Mountains? Visit the Southern Alps. Rivendell? Head to Kaidog Regional Park. Seriously, New Zealand is like one giant outdoor film studio. And the best part? This whole Lord of the Rings tourism wave has not only boosted the local economy but also helped preserve many of these stunning natural locations. You'll find guided tours, themed hotels, fan festivals, and even helicopter rides over iconic scenes. It's a dream come true for Tolkien fans. But even if you're not into elves and orcs, these landscapes are so epic they'll take your breath away. So, whether you're a hardcore fan or just chasing adventure, New Zealand offers something magical, where fantasy and reality literally walk side by side. Fact 9. Bizarre driving laws. Okay, let's talk about something quirky, New Zealand's bizarre driving laws. You might think driving rules are pretty standard everywhere, but New Zealand has some fun surprises that can catch even locals off guard. For starters, did you know it's illegal to wear flip-flops while driving? Yep, those comfy summer sandals just don't cut it behind the wheel here. The reasoning? They can easily slip off and cause accidents, so Kiwis take their foot safety seriously. So, if you're visiting, better swap those flip-flops for proper shoes before hitting the road. Here's another one. In New Zealand, you must give way to traffic coming from your right at uncontrolled intersections. Sounds simple, right? But if you're from countries that drive on the right side or have different right-of-way rules, this can get confusing fast. Plus, New Zealanders drive on the left side of the road, so it's basically the opposite of what a lot of people are used to. This mix-up causes plenty of funny stories from tourists trying to figure out who goes first at those quiet country crossroads. And get this, there's also a rule about keeping your headlights on at all times, even during the day on certain roads. It's all about visibility and safety, especially in New Zealand's often unpredictable weather. But for newcomers, it can feel a bit strange driving around with headlights on bright sunshine. Plus, some rural roads have unique speed limits, and if you're caught driving too slowly and blocking traffic, that's actually against the law too. So yeah, driving in New Zealand comes with its own set of quirky rules, but once you get the hang of it, it's part of the fun of exploring this incredible country. Fact 10. Citizenship for trees. And now, the most shocking fact of all. In New Zealand, some rivers and trees have been granted legal personhood. For example, in 2017, the Whanganui River was declared a legal entity, meaning it has rights similar to a human being. Explore Maori worldview that sees nature as an ancestor, the long legal battles to achieve this recognition, and the implications for environmental protection. So, there you have it, 10 shocking facts about New Zealand that you probably never heard before. From glowing caves to rivers with legal rights, New Zealand is truly one of a kind. Which fact amazed you the most? Tell us in the comments below. And hey, if you've ever visited New Zealand or plan to, share your experience too. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive like this. We've got more epic content lined up that you won't want to miss. See you in the next episode with more astonishing secrets from around the world. Take care, stay curious, and goodbye.